Hi, Sarah here with a layout process video using the April Mind the Scrap kit. And also here I used a Cutfile that's by Paper Issues. It's free and you just go to their site and download it and you can use it on this silhouette if you have one of those. And for this one I used the outer part of the hearts, but as you can see there was some hearts left over which I'll be able to use on another project, so I'll be keeping hold of them and see what I can do with them. So here I've grabbed a load of my papers from this month's kit, and with my picture, this is of my fiance and my baby, and he's in a reddish shirt, but it's come out sort of pinkish on the filter that I had on the camera, and my little boy's in one of those hospital mint green blankets that they have floating around, and the colours went really well with the colours in this kit because there's lots of orangey pinks and reds, and then the mint greens and tealy colours as well. So I thought it went really nicely, so I decided to, yet again, I've got pinks and flowers on a layout that's got boys on it, but I don't rightly care, so that's what I'm doing. So here what I've done is taken a Cutfile and then flipped the paper over to the opposite side as well, then just traced it with a pencil and then cut it out just on the outside of the line so that there's just that little edge ready to glue it down. And then I've just used a fine liner glue bottle, and it's got multi-mix medium in my one. And then I've just backed all those hearts. I did leave one heart because it was going to be behind the photo, and why waste paper when you don't need to. So I tried to spread out my patterns a bit as well, and I wanted some black and white in there as well to break up all the colours. So I've also grabbed from my stash that Together and Heart, which are foam thickers. They're quite old, I've had a while. I just thought I'd see if they'd work to use them up. And I do faff around with these quite a lot, but the black on top of the black, it lost the lettering a bit. It just seemed to blend in with the papers, so I do faff for quite a while, but I decided not to use it in the end. Also there you saw me get out all my ephemera, just go through everything and just pile on to my page, well, sort of randomly, or where I think things might look nice, or any ephemera that I find that I think will work with this project. And so I've got out my little flared badges and my enamel dots as well there, and here I am again trying to make that together work. I've also got that Oh Happy Moments chipboard sticker, which, because it's backed onto white chipboard and pops off, it actually works a lot better. So I've taken off the Together, put that one on in that place, and then there's a lovely gold edged journal paper, I guess, I don't know what you call it, paper file paper that is a bluey colour as well, so I add that at the bottom, and I do actually cut off some of that so I can use the other bit on another project. And I've also punched out a little scallop border with a little slice of paper that I wanted to add just for an extra layer underneath there. And I also added some of those butterflies, which I tried to add contrasting colours, getting smaller as they go up the page. So here is an epic fail where I tried to use my gelatos and my brush wasn't cleaned properly, so it was like just did loads of muddiness at the bottom. So even though I did want to go for that softer colour, I decided to call it a day on that for now and try it on another project. So instead I've gone for my standard water all over it, spray lots of colours on, and then I also take another piece of paper, piece of cardstock, sorry, and cover it so that I can then use that for another background, because it gives a nice soft effect when it's drawn back off the colour. It gives a much softer finish. And here I'm just adding a bit more of the pink there, but again dabbing it up so it's not too bright and it doesn't fight with the actual layout. One thing I would have done, oh, this is the other piece which I'll then use to either cut out for another layout or use it as a background. One thing I would have done though is down the side I added my border and the ink spray went over the top of it, and I would have preferred that to have been crisp like the Cutfile hearts instead of with ink over the top of it, but I'm not worried too much about that. It's just a future reference. I'll probably add my border after I finish my mixed media. So here I'm just adding my butterflies back on and trying to decide what colours etc will work best, where they'll pop off the page nicely and not blend in with the background. And because the ink is quite bold on my background, I decided to come back in with some droplets of ink. It's cut out of the video here, but I do leave it for about a minute before I dab it back up to get that really bleached look where it draws lots of the ink back up again, and I just find it leaves you with a bit more of a subtle finish than if it's just left bold. So here I've just put loads of tape on to my cut file and stuck it all down, and then I'll be coming back in now with some ink. So here I'm just covering up my photo so I don't get any ink on any faces, and I'm just adding black ink here and there across the layout just to tie in the black from the paper into the mixed media. And I was going to use some of these, but I found that they blended in a bit too much, they wouldn't have popped on the page, so I did leave those for this particular layout. But here I'm bringing in some sequins that I have, and these ones are Pretty Little Studio, I think they're called. I'll leave a link for where I get them from anyway. It's a UK site, so but I do think they do ship worldwide though. And here I'm just adding tiny dots of blue, and I'm adding pinks, blues, and then tiny gold sequins on there. As you can see at the bottom there, I did actually smudge my ink, but I just add a journaling spot there and a couple of tiny word stickers which came in the previous kit. And I think I'm pretty much done. Yes, I'm finished. Thanks for joining me today. If you'd like to see more from me, please like and subscribe. Here's some close-ups with some better lighting for you. So thanks again for joining me. Bye!